10 seconds, and then we're off. So I guess let's start this commentary from the start for those of you just joining in. Welcome to the very last match of the Defeat Magus tournament. We're just setting up here for the race. As you can already see, the runner's starting off by having their cursor on wait. Gonna play with battle cursor wait for this run. Not gonna want to play on active for a majority of reasons throughout this entire run. Just playing with active ATB is not really a thing.
Yeah, playing on active is not really fun. I did that in the randomizer. Just don't.
Alright, there we go. Runner's renaming Chrono to a one-character name, as typical for these kind of games. Single characters take 1 frame to be written out each, so by reducing the character name length, you save a significant amount of time throughout the entire run, because these names, especially the early ones, Chrono, Luca, and Marl, are going to be written out a lot. You might have noticed that eLmaGus went for a lowercase o and Redslash for a uppercase j. eLmaGus one is faster, but you might have a little bit of a surprise at the end of Redslash's run in the final fight. The estimate for this is about a 150. They just both broke the best race time ever in the last race, so we can't really say that.
First thing you want to do is change your battle speed, change memory cursor, and maybe change your controls if you want to.
Yeah, the battle speed, obviously, 1 being the fastest. We want to go as fast as possible. We want to have the battle cursor set to memory, just to allow for easier scripted fights. And the controls are just optimal because there's 1 boss skip later on that we cannot do on default controls. It's just to change your controls right away at the start. There are other options where you just swap them mid-run and swap them back with these, both of them, swap them at the start of the run. And Redslash taking a little bit of extra time to also make a fancy menu theme, which doesn't save any time, but it's more elegant, I guess.
And Redslash is also changing his dash to the L button instead of the B button. Just something he does. I actually like it as well. I did that in my runs.
146 next. Oh boy. It's a little thing you can see there because we want to progress the story here as quick as possible. Just talking to the shopkeeper and then immediately exiting out. 1 check that you can do here that you cannot really see but is used very often throughout the run is holding start and B while you're in these kind of menus, just to close the menu on the very first possible frame. You're gonna see that a lot during fade outs, during these kind of shops. Just to get out of the menu as quick as possible rather than having to mash.
Yeah, and it's always start and B. Even if you change your controls like Redslash did, where he changed the dash button, it's still start and B for him. I don't know why. It just is. Also, what you saw them do is grab the pendant first and then talk to Marle. This is important for some scenes later to influence them in a way that they go away faster.
Well spoken. Always want to go faster.
I mean, we are speedrunning, right?
I hope we are speedrunning. That would be the point of this.
That's also why we didn't go into the teleporter when we were prompted to. We just talked to Marl. She says, wow, that was amazing. It's just some minor things, but everything saves time. So upcoming, after the cutscene, we have the first fight with 3 blue imps. I want to do some quick target selection there to target the correct imps so you don't get hit optimally. Which is also a way to set up the Nagaad fight in the cathedral later.
Yeah, this first fight is probably one of the more tricky ones. considering the inputs you have to do. There are some really tight inputs where you have to switch the attack target very quickly. If you miss it, you're going to get attacked and the RNG is going to be off, because every action that takes place is going to forward the RNG in a way. And we want to have that as minimal as possible with just free attacks from Chrono. Game 1 was won by eLmaGus. If eLmaGus wouldn't have won Game 1, there would be no Game 2 right now. But this is the very final match. The winner of this takes the entire tournament. There's not going to be one after.
Hashtag blame eLmaGus.
So yeah, we got that first in-flight.
He is the reason Redslash has to go at this game again.
Good fight for Magus. Oh, and Redslash attacking the wrong imp here. Gonna get an extra attack in. Not only slower, of course, because of the extra attack, but it's also off RNG now.
I think he has a backup for that, though.
Yeah.
He did that once already. I saw him do it in the last year's tournament, I think.
I think he even did that in this tournament.
Or maybe this tournament.
The thing about Redslash is he has a backup for literally everything. It's
that is correct.
Yeah. So don't be worried if Red gets off RNG. He's fine. This movement
Also,
here.
always hug the trees.
Yeah. A lot of invisible encounters here that we can skip.
And both of them also picked up the Power Glove for later, which is important. I'm just gonna assume most people are new.
Oh yeah.
Or missed the first one, because it is rather early in the US, right?
That is true, but as we said earlier, this is basically a European stream at this point, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this run is really, really optimized. We pick up really no items that we don't need. There are only two there are only two optional encounters that we do for grinding. All other encounters we either skip or are forced upon us. So this is really gone to the bones in terms of optimization.
I mean, there's even a manipulation for the slime fight, so that's how optimized this is.
Oh man, slime fight. I don't want to talk about that yet.
We have to soon, but not yet.
This first part is very story heavy, lots of cutscenes just explaining the background story here. Maro getting teleported into the past with her pendant, Chrono following after, and now, for whatever reason, Maro being disintegrated and disappearing.
She just likes to shine.
Yeah.
And then Luca explains to us how time works, or how she thinks time works.
This is definitely how time works in real life.
Oh yeah, what you also may have noticed is they go, if the runners go upstairs, they run diagonally, which is slightly faster than just holding a direction. It's minor, but there are lots of stairs in Chrono Trigger. I think the only ones that doesn't... the only stairs that don't work like that are the ones in Magus Castle, I think. In the lobby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are actually some stairs that you can lose a lot of time to in this game. If I remember correctly, eLmaGus lost his first race in the winners' finals to stairs against Redslash.
Stairs are evil. Almost as evil as doors.
Royalty does reproduce by cellular fashion, indeed. Skips one generation. But yeah, here we are. The two extra encounters that we do just for grinding in this run. These roly-polies here. the Roly Riders, just to unlock the Flame Toss and the Flame Whirl, which will allow us to go for a much faster Naga fight in the Cathedral. But that's really all the grinding we do in the entire run.
You see, Redslash has his backups.
Yeah.
Man, this is so close.
The sync is real. Beautiful.
Can we keep that up for the whole race, please?
You know, if we do, we have to have another race, right?
So yeah, Chrono Trigger has dual tags, which is like combined tags for 2 or more characters. I think it was one of the first games that had this. At least one of the first I can remember.
It also features triple tags, but we're unfortunately not going to see any of those.
If you want to see triple tags, you can just watch someone play the randomizer.
That's fair. So this is where the RNG minute really shines. Gonna get a really nice Flame Whirl triple kill on these Nagaets and no slow smells. Just a really fast kill compared to having to like kind of wing it.
Yeah, and they do some small optimizations by targeting the left Nagaets first, so the flame toss from Luca has to travel less. The last Nagaet.
Positioning in this game is really important, even though you wouldn't kind of think it's because it's automated, but there are a lot of fights that can really be a hit or miss just based on how you position in the fight. One boss fight in particular is really sensitive to just tiniest positioning errors. Hopefully we're not going to see this in this run, but yeah, this is a thing.
And we get to meet Frog, or G, most likely.
It's, I think it's gonna be Y? No, it's, oh right, in Redslash. Again, the very final fight in Redslash's screen is gonna be a little bit more elegant than in eLmaGus' screen, even though it costs a little bit of time. Yeah, if you are curious about Randomizer, definitely make sure to follow the runners here. Especially eLmaGus here is a legend in Chrono Trigger Randomizer.
I believe there's also a Discord, especially for the randomizer.
Yeah, they got like challenge seeds weekly. It's pretty cool. So on Redslash's screen here, you can see the first instance of a fade out, which is basically entering a loading zone, hitting the menu to cancel the fade out, and then leaving the menu again, repeating that so that you can move around with the transition kind of stored, with just mashing the menu open and closing again. And that way, by getting to the power tap there while the menu is still fading in and out, you can skip the little animation at the end. We're gonna see that later again for something way more important called Save Anywhere. But that's just the first little sequence where that's used.
I think fade out is the most broken thing ever.
Yeah. Probably.
Allows you to skip almost anything.
Yeah. Still gotta find that legendary Dragon Tang skip though. So yeah, with the RNG minute, we're gonna get some really nice crits on the Diablos here from Frog.
And you might also remember that we picked up some power taps. Those are going to be used soon. Because we get a lot of glitches, one after another.
Yeah. So we're coming up on the first boss, Yakra. And basically what's going to happen, they are going to enter the loading zone for Yakra, do another fade out, and during that fade out, going to try to get onto the save point, and then let go of the fade out. And what that will do is that the game thinks that they are standing on the save point as they are entering the boss room, and it permanently thinks that they still have the ability to save at basically any position, and we call that save anywhere. and that will basically allow us to save behind the trigger for the boss fight, and thus skip the entire boss fight, which we're going to see on Magus' screen here in just a second.
And also during one of those menus, we are going to do the unequip glitch.
Which is another really broken thing in this game.
Yeah. It helps us deal with the magic damage from most bosses by giving us resistances to everything but fire, and also increasing our magic damage output a lot. It makes us weak to physicals though, but barely any bosses use physicals in this tournament.
Really good pace by both runners so far.
You may have also noticed that the runners walked up and down a bit. That is to skip text boxes, because if you move someone who is talking off screen, then you basically skip that text box. So by doing that a couple of times, you can do that faster than with mashing.
Yeah, optimally, you're never going to see a single text box if you do it really, really well. At least not in that cutscene. Yeah, now that we saved Marl's ancestor, we are going to get Marl back.
Of course.
Because that's how time works.
And she also has different clothes.
Yeah, right. I never realized she redressed during the time she was gone.
And more plot. Also, one important part is do not touch frog on the way out.
Yeah, there's a really, really, really hard skip coming up called Frog Skip. It's frame and pixel perfect, and it saves about 5 hours. And oh, it looks like eLmaGus got it. Oh, and Redslash too. Oh my god. Okay, this is a race. Let's go. So we still have the save anywhere glitch. We can still save at any point where we want. The game only gets rid of it if we enter another screen with a save point. And we're gonna do that, use that for a reverse bird skip here. Gonna just save here in the middle of the wilds and reload, and then get past the fly trigger like that. One thing you will notice is that they take a little bit of extra time here to reload on the file select screen. The reason why they do that is so that the time that you spend on the file select screen determines what RNG seeds you load into the game. So by reloading a specific timing, you get a forced RNG seed that is beneficial for us.
I think we never explained bird skip, did we?
No, but we're gonna have it a few more times, so that's fine.
Yeah. We'll explain it next time.
Yeah.
For now, we just say we skip an enemy.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
And if you think that we're just gonna walk home with the princess and have a nice dinner, then you are in for an adventure.
It's time for an adventure. Also, don't forget to hug the trees.
We love our trees here in the Chrono Trigger community.
Yeah, I think Redslash is ahead by a bit. Because, I don't know, maybe faster mashing.
Yeah, probably.
And now you actually see the enemies that you skipped earlier. But you still skip them. So yeah, we bring back the princess, and Chancellor's like, "Oh, you abducted her, right? Confused her."
And literally nobody cares what Marl actually has to say, but who even cares what the victim has to say, right?
I mean, she is confused, right?
Obviously, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
So you get thrown into jail.
But first, before we get thrown into jail, we get to the trial, which is the second biggest RNG part of the run, basically. And it can make a difference of up to 6 seconds.
And what you want to do is you have two choices in this trial, and you want to pick the bottom option both times. I mean, the top one would be too easy, right, for a speedrun?
Yeah, just mashing would be too much. You need to be mashing, but carefully. After the interview, which is pretty pointless, they're gonna be 7 jurors that will decide over our fate. And based on what we did, how we behaved at the fair, like picking up the pendant before talking to Mara, for example, the jurors are gonna make a certain decision. And basically only one of them is random in a way we cannot influence it in this run to be effective. And that one has about a 40% chance to give us guilty, and we want guilty just because it saves us a few text boxes later. For those of you who don't know the game too well, it doesn't matter what you get out of this. If you get guilty or not guilty, you are going to be thrown into jail, but it's just to save a few text boxes.
I mean, if you get not guilty, you get an Ether. Don't forget that.
That is true, an Ether that we're never going to use in this run.
But you still get it.
That's true.
It's actually nice for the randomizer.
That is true, yeah. So the one that is RNG is the second one, so that's going to be the deciding factor here. And we got not guilty for Red and not guilty for eLmaGus. That is two races in a row that they both got not guilty, so at least it's even. No time save for either of them.
They got it last race as well. Alright. And it also doesn't matter if you're guilty or not guilty, you still get thrown into jail.
Yeah. Because even if we didn't abduct her, we still ran away with her. So that's something we have to be thrown into jail for.
I think it's then called solitary confinement.
Yeah. But it's only for 3 days, and we're totally not going to get executed for it.
And you also get to see some of the background. You will see it again soon.
One of the most beautiful backgrounds in the entire game. So yeah, these are the few text boxes that we would skip if we were guilty. The supervisor here is gonna ask why we are supposed to be executed because he didn't hear anything about an execution. So it's just like 5 seconds we would save here, but it's really a minor thing considering that it's like one of the only RNG parts in a JRPG.
And he has the best excuse. Paperwork is getting delayed. And you also get a mark with coffee, maybe? And you get to keep your weapons.
It is something. This jail is pretty escape friendly.
Also save point, in case you want to reload.
Yeah, neither of them took the safety save. Understandable, the reload that they took at the reverse burst skip isn't that hard. So if they nailed it, which I think both of them did, they're gonna roll a 60 here on that Cyclone, which is the highest possible damage roll, and go one-shot the guards. And that's the RNG we want to be on. And they both get it.
And that 60 is also only possible if you give Chrono the power tabs.
Yeah, Chrono is gonna get all the tabs in the speedrun, not gonna give anything to anything else.
And we get a very long fade out to skip the battle on the bridge. Technically, it's slower than to fight it, but we want to keep our RNG seed, so we have to do this.
Yeah, optimally after the first guard fight, which we can unskip, we don't want to get into any more encounters. These guards here, this guard is pretty trolly. Oh, Magus getting like a really good guard here, catching up a little bit on Redslash. Those are also RNG. Alright, getting a way better secondary. Okay. So
It
you don't
all
want to
evens
get
out.
yeah. Don't want to get into any extra fights here because the RNG seed we have right now is really, really good for Dragon Tank. Gonna get a really fast fight, lots of crits. One more fade out to skip these guards and then we're already at the bottom. Oh, Redslash missed it. There we go. Well, Magus also having some trouble.
Yeah, you have to basically go all the way through the stairs. Otherwise, it won't recognize that you went off screen.
Hmm. There's actually a way that you can align all the way to the right end of the collision and still not hit the loading zone, which is kind of annoying, but that's fine. I think we just swapped music. That was kind of confusing. If I should be honest, I would not mention the Steam version in the presence of speedrunners. Some people are getting pretty salty about that one. Basically, any non-SNES version is kind of frowned upon in terms of speedrunning.
So the way you're supposed to go at this fight is you want to kill the body and wheels first because they have low HP, and then kill the head. But because we are on some nice crit RNG seeds, we get to crit the head and just kill it before everything else.
Yep. Can't out-heal all the damage that we do, just a really clean and fast fight.
And you want to input almost everything during animations.
One thing you don't want to input during animations is that flame toss from Luca there. By delaying that while waiting in the menu, you can get to skip an extra attack. Don't really know why that's the case. I think that's probably the only instance of the run where that's used, but it's pretty nice and sets up us for a nice RNG when we head into the future.
I mean, maybe it can be used somewhere else. Has someone tried just waiting at bosses?
Have you ever tried killing a boss by not doing anything?
Guess Twin Dude, this is round 2. Still the finals, but round 2.
Good, getting the guard skip there. Oh, and a nice shuffle there at the end, getting Luca and Chrono a little bit closer together. As we said, you can save a decent amount of time just based on character positioning in cutscenes. So sometimes it's nice to just like do a little bit of a wiggle back and forth before you hit a cutscene trigger, just so that characters are more nicely aligned when they have to like recollect at the end of a cutscene.
And you saw them both pick up a shelter, which is also going to be used soon. It's a convenient placed one, so we'll pick it up.
Yeah, this part of the run, we really starting to pick up the pace.
And we get a insanely action-packed escape sequence.
Yeah, the adrenaline rush is real on everyone's first playthrough.
And it ends with the best face in gaming history.
Yeah, I agree. So Redslash has to defeat the eLmaGus version. eLmaGus has to defeat the first Magus version.
There it is. They disappeared.
Do we have this as an emote somewhere on FFC? It has to be an emote somewhere.
I think someone has it. I don't know who.
Might be Jerry. Jerry has all the good Chrono Trigger emotes. Yeah, now we're in the future.
Either Jerry or Drunken Draconian, maybe.
Probably. And we got some really movement intense sections here. Like, you wouldn't think that a JRPG is really big in terms of movement, but especially the future segment here has some really intense movement sections to make some quick cycles on enemies. Now Redslash here getting fast red cycle. Really, really good.
Easy every single time. Except when it's not.
Oh well, Magus! Awesome.
And we also get to pick up some very important equipment, actually.
Oh yeah, very
especially
important.
the Berserker.
Yeah. The Berserker strats used in this run are absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, we got one Berserker, one load bow, and one load sword that we're gonna equip almost right away. We have to do some menus coming up very soon anyway, so we're just going to delay this up until that, just to save an extra menu, but going to be used instantly.
And keeping with the theme of this run, we're going to skip another boss.
Yeah, that's boss number 3, second one we skip. And this is actually the one that you need to swap your control schemes for. In the room that the boss in, the button that has the menu mapped on by default, if you press that button, it's going to trigger an extra encounter, and that way the fade out is not going to work. So you have to remap the menu button, because the game does not react to what's actually the menu button, but only the default menu button. They didn't program anything extra in there.
And we also equip the Berserker on Mal. And she also gets the load bow, and Chrono gets the load sword. More damage.
We got a very angry lady with a very strong bow.
And some runners also like to swap back their controls in that room, or just swap them for this room. It's preference, really.
It's slightly slower just because you have one extra menu, but really, that's nothing compared to the time loss of having an uncomfortable control scheme.
I mean, you still do the extra menu at the start of the game.
Oh yeah.
So it evens out, I guess. You either do it before the boss, or... I mean, if you swap back, you have one extra one.
Yeah, right, that's what I mean. Oh my god, Redslash going for fast bugs, this madman. So the room that Redslash was just in, that eLmaGus is showing now, that's probably the most difficult room to do. Oh no, the second most difficult room to do optimal in terms of movement. That fast red cycle that eLmaGus is not even going for is just bug cycle. It's just ridiculous, especially on the way in. There's also a fast bug cycle on the way out.
But we get to skip one half of a cutscene, but you have to go back in and watch the second half.
Another instance of fade out. Fade out is just stupidly broken. Can do literally everything in this game.
Like, put people into consoles.
I think Luca is happy. She likes to play with her computers.
Yeah, usually you would see Lavas here and see that this is your future.
But we're just gonna assume that this is our future, even though we never confirmed it.
But we don't know. We just went into a room and saw something.
And Marl just started screaming and said that couldn't be the case. It's fast first box. Is he gonna get the fast red cycle? Nah, alright. But really, really good movement here. by Red. Those rooms are not easy to do optimally. Magus also getting it.
Yeah, those bug hitboxes are deceptively small
Yeah.
or large.
One thing you should really know about this game is even though you see a sprite of an enemy, that sprite has to not at all align with the actual encounter trigger. Like, there are enemies in this game where the actual trigger for the fight is like 5 tiles away from the actual enemy, so you just have to like know where the stuff is, so that's just a thing where lots of practice coming.
Yeah, we will see that later in the jungle section. Or let's say we won't see it, hopefully.
Hopefully we won't see it. Alright, and here we got him, the man, Johnny.
Alright, rematch. Can he beat Magus' score?
Oh boy. I haven't been here for the first for the first race. How did the Johnny race go?
I think Magus got a point score of like over 2,000, 2,200 or something insane. He stayed ahead of Johnny most of the race, but they both won the race.
I would really be hoping they both won the race, so they just annihilate the best race time ever. So. And losing this race loses you like a minute, so.
Yeah, what you want to do is stay ahead of Johnny. That sounds easier than it actually is.
Yeah, if you think this is just a matter of pressing up and down a little bit, you are wrong. This is stupidly hard. Really nicely done by Red. Magus also doing a great job here.
And he's playing it safe. I do not blame him at all.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose that race.
So this is also another nice instance of RNG minute. RNG still present, getting 2 very nice crits on the buggers here with Marl, with her Berserker.
And afterwards you want to not run across the upper platform, because if you run you get into a very long fight.
And the thing that's really bad about this encounter is you cannot run from it, and it really takes a long time. And since both of them didn't take the shelter before this area here, but they're both going to take it before the factory, they were also kind of low on health, which would have actually made that encounter kind of dangerous, because they don't have like any safety heal items.
Yeah, I think Chrono is at like 10 HP.
But now we get Robo. Some people claim that Robo is the best waifu. I would disagree a lot, but still a cool dude.
I think Redslash is gonna name him Y.
Yep. Uppercase Y. For those of you who've paid attention, you already know what we're gonna see in the last fight. For those who didn't, just wait out a little bit. There we go, uppercase Y.
Why?
Magus probably gonna.
Perfect.
Magus probably gonna play it traditionally.
I mean, for this category, it doesn't really make sense to rename him, except if you want to have fun.
We have seen a lot of people in this tournament who renamed him to Bobo. I like that too. Keku, please. That's don't rickroll the entire tournament, please. last fight where RNG minute actually is gonna matter. Gonna get an absolutely sick 10 crit by Robo on this asset here. Gonna be killing it off in 2 attacks, which is really nice because these things have a stupidly high defense, and you can just hit for 1 in some instances. But thanks to RNG minute, we
And
get done with this
even
fight really
Robo can
quickly.
hit for 1. You
Yeah.
saw that last race.
Yeah. Oh boy. So Red and eLmaGus gonna take this shelter after this fight. And then we actually come up on the biggest instance of RNG in this entire run, the Acid Slam fight. You want to go over the various things that can and will go on in this fight?
Alright, let's go. The red ones, the assets, have 10 HP and really high defense. The green ones have 9 HP. And you get a mix of both of them, 5 in total. So what you want is lots of green ones because they are easier to kill. What you don't want is a green one and a red one close to each other.
Yeah.
Because if you attack them when they are close to each other, you get a counter attack.
Ouch.
That hurts.
That really hurts what's going on Redslash's screen right now. Like, besides the fact that you... Oh my god.
And there is a counter attack.
So, a lot of things went on Redslash's screen there. Not only did they mix up terribly, which is always bad because you cannot cyclone them without almost guaranteed getting a counterattack, but that rocket punch you usually want to one-shot the greens with. Oh, and Magus not getting a counterattack there. But...
And he also gets the same pattern.
Yep. So that's fair. Damage rolls still make an insane difference in this fight. But
And he didn't get countered, even though they were close together.
yeah.
That
eLmaGus
cyclone
definitely
should
getting...
kill.
Yeah, both of them actually.
Yep.
Yeah. eLmaGus doing way luckier in this fight, and Red getting another counterattack. Oh my god, that's 7. That's the highest base damage roll you can get without a crit. That's really lucky.
Also, the Magus already set Luca to Flame Toss, so he doesn't have to do it in the R-Series fight. Oh, hang on, if he uses Metonic, then he has to do it. I don't know which strats he uses.
I'm pretty sure he uses the Metonic strat.
Okay, so he has to do it again then.
Yeah.
So after the fight, you want to heal with Robo,
Those damage rolls.
but you only want to heal Chrono and Luca. And you want to make sure that Chrono has at least 8 MP.
Yeah. So Red just lost a whole bunch of time due to RNG.
Yep, damage rolls.
Both of them definitely with a good performance on that fight, but sometimes you just lose due to RNG. So eLmaGus now with a little bit of a lead here.
And as mentioned in the race before, you have to input the password at the door there, but you just can hold all the buttons. You don't have to input it in the correct order.
Yeah, all face buttons is kind of the Konami code of Nintendo. We got the password to Chrono Trigger, we got a debug code in Super Metroid that gives you all items. It's a pretty good button combo to just remember for Nintendo games.
And it also doesn't matter if you swapped your controls. It's still the same buttons.
Yeah, this game is pretty bad with remapping buttons. When you get like instructions for what buttons to hold in dialog boxes, it never like actually tells you what buttons to hold, but only the default buttons. So yeah, now we got the R-Series fight coming up, one of the bosses that we actually don't skip.
It is kind of tricky. You have to input your first menu really fast. I mean, we used to change battle speed to 3. And then we changed to double tapping, basically.
Yeah, double tapping is basically just pressing the button to activate a tech twice, just to make sure that you hit it as early as possible. So like even if you hit the first one already, it doesn't matter because you need like 3 button presses to confirm an attack. So it's just like to guarantee that you get this first cyclone in as quick as possible. Gonna use 1 cyclone on the front row, 2 cyclones on the back row, which is gonna kill the back row, and then another cyclone on the front row. The reason why we don't just finish off the front row first, but do this kind of like split up, is just to because otherwise we're gonna start into like very long attacks from the R series that can trigger once the first 3 are dead. So it's just more efficient to kill all 6 within 2 cyclones, just to avoid counters. And eLmaGus here with really, really clean cyclone inputs. Same for red.
And he's not going for Metonic. Yeah, he should be fine.
One thing you saw there at the end of eLmaGus' fight, he put Flame Toss on Luca. And since we have our battle cursor in memory, it's gonna remember that Luca is now on tech for the next time we're gonna use her. And that's gonna be really important because depending on the RNG, the next time we are gonna use her is actually gonna be in another boss fight, which involves a very, very quick tech input by Luca. So having her on tech at this point is kind of important. There are some scenarios where you could just theoretically forget about it. Magus already had that scenario in this tournament, was thankfully able to recover from it, but it's something you don't want to run into really. So being prepared is really nice.
And during that cutscene, Robo gets damaged and Luca has to repair him again. And he wants to join us, so why not? Oh yeah, in the cutscene that we didn't see, we also saw that there's a time gate in here.
Oh, right, yeah. In case you wondered how they knew that was the part we actually didn't see.
Yep.
Alright, now we're at the end of time.
I always wondered, how do they know?
You know what I wonder? How did the old man actually build all this stuff here at the end of time?
Magic.
Magic, oh yeah, that's true. Speaking of magic, we're actually gonna get some very soon. Thanks to our friend Speaky here behind that door.
So we need everyone in chat to sync magic.
Yeah. And while you're at it, also run around through your room, get every corner, and you have to do that 3 times. And only that way our runners will be able to get magic from Speaky.
Time for Specchio skip, indeed.
Hardest skip in the run. Even harder than Frog skip. It's a really mean thing because you're so used to mashing text in this game that if you mash text after the Speaky dialogue, in that certain instance you just lose so much time. Just because you're actually forced to fight him then if you mash.
Yeah, but if you actually have to fight him, you just use fire with Luca.
That is true, but yeah, I guess.
It's still slower.
Yeah.
Just
especially since Marl is still on Berserk, so we cannot use her magic right now. And she's just attacking and attacking. Alright, can Magus. Yes, he does skip the speaking of good job. Gets caught up on the door then.
I told you, doors are evil.
Yeah. Redslash also skipping the fight. Alright.
Nailing all the hard skips.
And now we're coming up on the most glitch-heavy section of the entire run, starting with a beautiful glitch called Cake and Dash. Gonna eat the cake and then dash. By entering the menu as we confirm that we want to eat the cake and then swapping our party, gaining control, and skipping some expository dialogue.
If we hadn't skipped that, we actually would know that the enemies here are not friendly, the monsters. They don't like us.
Yeah.
Or humans in general. So we go into the cave and beat them up.
So what do you think? We got 4 bosses so far. 2 of them we skipped, 2 of them we actually fought. What about the next one? Should we fight him or should we just skip him?
We've got no time.
So yeah, this entire cave is basically just running away from encounters, just progressing the story by heading over to the next boss. And the next boss is going to work very similar to Yakra skip. We're just going to get safe anywhere by fading out onto the save point while we enter the boss room. The thing with the Hecarim cave or the Yakra skip though is that the point where we have to save is way more precise. With Yakra we had like a second for the actual pause, but with Hecarim, depending on the setup, you have merely a few frames to do it, so way more precise. Oh, Redslash catching up. Almost back in sync.
I'm telling you, doors are evil.
Yeah.
Especially the transitions.
So there we got the fade out, gonna get onto the save point, also swapping the party just to make the cutscene after the boss fight slightly faster. Oh, and I think Redslash missed the save anywhere. Oh, well, Magus missed the Hecarim skip though. Let's see.
And that's why you do safety saves.
Yeah. This one specifically you definitely safely save, and Redslash got it first try. After he actually got saved anyway, so he's slightly ahead now. Still insanely close after 52 minutes. Alright. So yeah, this dialogue between the characters is just slightly faster with Robo than with Mario. And so after we just skipped this boss fight, we have the next boss fight just coming up, Zambor on the bridge, once we go back in time. And as you know by now, we need save anywhere to skip bosses. Well, at least these kind of bosses. And since we're gonna go for End of Time, and End of Time has a save point, we lose save anywhere once we hit the End of Time, so we have to regain it. And the way that they want to do this is by a trick called End of Time Save Anywhere, which is way more complicated than normal Save Anywhere. They basically want to zip out as they are on the save point, which is kind of precise. Redslash actually missed it in the last race, lost like half a minute on Magus just by doing so, so let's hope it will go better this time.
We basically store a text box, store a pillar, and then initiate the travel and walk onto the save point. Sounds easier than it is.
Magus also getting it. So just regaining control of the party, swapping party members to actually be able to move. And there they go, on the save point as they zip out. And now they both have End of Time Save Anywhere. And now we should talk about Bird Skip.
Exactly. Redslash going safe with post buffering. So the way Bird Skip works is you have like a 2 pixel window, I think.
Yeah.
To walk up instead of left to to walk past the trigger where the fight would start. So by aligning yourself on a certain pixel, either with Chrono's hand or his foot, you can skip the fight there, and that's what's called bird skip.
This sync is ridiculous. Yeah. Wow. So here we got another instance of text cancels just by running up and down. And now the chef is going to give us a jerky and a power tap. And then we're going to head to the next boss, which of course we're going to skip because we got to go fast. And that one again is the same idea as Yakra and Hacker and Skip already. We're going to save past a cutscene trigger, going to avoid the cutscene like that, and then we're going to do another save after a boss trigger and going to avoid the boss trigger like that. One thing that's used for that has already been used for Hacker and Skip that we didn't get over is something called Release B, where you, instead of just dashing to the trigger, you actually let go of your dash button for a slight amount of time, and that way hit a frame rule where you can actually get past the trigger, as opposed to if you would just be holding dash, you would not get past it. Redslash here got the Captain skip first try. I'm not sure if he actually got the Zamor skip. That seemed pretty early. eLmaGus, oh, alright, so Redslash getting both first try. eLmaGus getting Captain skip second try, and Zamor skip first try. Really nicely done.
But Redslash is going to do some safety menuing, get some revives.
We're going to be losing a little bit of time over eLmaGus now. eLmaGus doesn't go for these save strats, he's just going to do the, well, I guess the optimal strat. Safety here really doesn't take too much time, but in a race, especially in a tournament where many races have been lost to Masamune, it's a good safety measure. Also, you might be wondering how they got onto that cliff there. The game doesn't account for you to ever save there, but because we still have save anywhere we can, and it kind of confuses the layer that the character's on. And that way it allows us to just warp onto this cliff and skip Tata, which is a nice cutscene. But the real lovely thing about that is the thing that allows this skip is the same thing that makes you soft lock in reverse bird skip earlier in the run if you are too close to an edge. So the same tech can kill your run and save you a lot of time.
So we are running through the mountain, skipping all of the fights that we can.
Lots and lots of invisible encounters. If you see them move in some kind of zigzag, it's most of the time because they want to avoid some encounters. Sometimes it's just for fun. I remember when I learned this game and I watched the top runners always moving in zigzags even though there were no encounters, I was really confused. But most of the time when they do this, they actually want to skip something.
Oh, mountains are nice.
Yeah. Grabbing the speed tap there, and they're gonna head into probably the most punishing boss in the entire run.
Indeed.
Oh, Redslash getting fast birds here. eLmaGus having to wait. Oh no! Oh no, this is very bad. Yeah, he has to reset there. So eLmaGus ran into another encounter, which means RIP RNG, and this is the one boss fight where you need your RNG manip to be on point. Getting into that extra encounter was just complete RIP, and he has to start over from the start of the mountain, and that's a huge time loss. That is a really big time loss.
I don't think there is any backup for the Berserker strats. I know there was a backup for the Antipode strats way back. no one remembers anymore. But yeah, Redslash probably going for Fire Punch strategies.
Yeah,
Let's
used-
switch to his audio for a bit.
At least he used Fire Punch in his race against eLmaGus in the first round. Fire Punch strat over the optimal strat that eLmaGus is going to use, only 5 seconds slower, but is a decent amount safer. At least that's what people told me. Never actually used the Fire Punch strat, so I can't really tell.
I didn't either. I just know that the Berserk strat is very finicky.
Yeah, this is actually the fight where even if you do all your inputs perfectly with the Berserk strat, it can still fail just because of bad positioning. And we're talking about like pixels here that you basically cannot influence. Oh, Magus getting fast forward on the second side. But yeah, this fight is super punishing. We had a lot and lots of losses in this tournament just because of this boss fight here. It's really, really hard to do it. Like, just one mistake here and it's almost guaranteed rip.
I think Red actually has some kind of backup because he unequipped Chrono. So he will not take as much damage from the release, just in case.
Yeah.
But he still can't control Chrono.
Yeah. Plus he also has his healing items. And Red, with his experience, will probably be able to recover from most scenarios.
Yeah, he also bought revives before this. So as long as someone from Robo or Luca lives, he can revive. If he needs to.
Yeah, and just, not even the entire party has to survive this fight if it really comes down to the worst case scenario. As long as Chrono and Luca survive, I think it's fine. I think Robo can be dead at the end of the fight and it will still work in terms of XP routing.
Yeah, I think Luca is definitely an important one.
Yeah, Chrono definitely too, but I think Robo can actually be dead. Alright, so Magus now about to start the fight. Oh wait, no, already at the second part of the fight, never mind. Red should be about done here. And there we go. Nice fight for Red.
Yeah, I mean, it is a huge setback for eLmaGus, but this race is not over.
Yeah. This is the kind of run where a single mistake costs you minutes. And one major mistake from Red, and we're definitely gonna see Magus catch up again. Yeah, let's hope his fight goes well. Again, just for RNG minute purposes, you want to put in all your attacks and attacks during animations, so either during the Berserk attacks from Chrono or during Master attacks.
And at one point in the fight, you actually have to pay attention to the ATB of Robo.
Right here, and yeah, got good ATB, so doesn't have to do any adjustments. If he gets bad ATB, then he has to do a little bit of extra waiting. But he's fine. He's on the script, performing the fight well. And now for Red, the biggest shot menu of the run. Gonna unequip all his characters. Gonna sell his stuff. Gonna get a bunch of Metonics, Revives, and Shelters.
And also don't forget to unequip the Berserker from Chrono.
Yeah. And that's it for Magus. Nicely done. Oh. No, there we go. I thought that Fire Punch was supposed to kill. Huh. Doesn't matter. He's done. He survived. That's the important part. And no new for Red.
So while we did the shopping, we also went into Tata's house, talked to him. because we technically met him already in the mountains, even though we skipped him. And we get his hero medal. I know it seems weird, but trust me, we met him. We just blinked.
Magus fell behind when he ran into the extra encounter right before the Massa Cave. And had to reset all the way to the start of Denadora Mountain. No new for red. It's concerning.
So we talked to Frog. We got one part of the Masamune by fighting, and we got the other part from Frog. And now we need to reforge it. But for that we need some stone.
Good thing there are plenty of stones back in the past.
I think normally you find out by talking to some NPCs, but if you know, you can just go to the past.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Well, we're still going to talk to Melchior just for fun. And by talking to Melchior, I mean we're going to enter this house, fading in and out, and completely skip his island.
Fade him out of existence.
Oh, we got a new for eLmaGus, alright. This run is already going better.
He got 2 last run, right?
I did not pay attention to the new count last run.
I don't know if he got a 3rd one, but I know he had 2. Also, if you have Robo instead of Marle in the cutscene where eLmaGus is at, you actually get some more text boxes.
Yeah, the entire reason.
Basically tries to read what's on the sword, but can't.
Yeah, the entire reason we swap out Marl. Well, one of the reasons we swap out Marl during the shot menu. This one's actually pretty interesting in terms of RNG. The RNG seed for this fight is actually determined on when you close the text boxes that we saw there. We're playing it safe here, getting a good first Reptide fight. The second one can be kind of tricky, but if you play it safe, usually no reason to mess it up. And now we meet the worst playable character in the game.
Not yet.
Well, we saw her for a second.
After this fight.
Really nice fight from Red here, getting both slashes in. There's a high risk of Luca dying in this fight if you get the second single tag not quick enough. But he managed it well.
You strong. What name?
Me A. Alright.
Gotta have some fun.
Yeah, I mean this is why we're here. Let's be real here. So now we know that Ayla has exactly the stone that we need, but she doesn't want to give it to us unless we party with her. So I guess that's exactly what we're gonna do.
But we are actually gonna switch out Robo for Marle. Because Marle likes to party too much.
Yeah, Marle is a party girl.
Oh, you can party too much, but she does.
Well, I hope he remembers to swap her out. Oh, there we go. Alright.
Just messing with us.
I think Red might actually be having a little bit too much fun with this race.
Maybe if he was further ahead, he would not swap her out. Who knows?
Yeah, that is actually the kind of thing I think he would do.
Robo moves 4 times, then he starts blinking. That's when you know you can talk to Ada again.
No, this run is not glitchless. This run is basically the opposite of glitchless.
This is about
But
as
this-
glitched as it gets.
Yeah, but this run is about like 150. Alright, and now we gotta challenge Ayla in a soup eating contest. This is totally not alcohol, by the way. Not a mistranslation, or I guess censor translation.
Must be some delicious soup.
Now this is the bracket reset. eLmaGus won out of the losers finals, so now they have one deciding match. And the winner of this race takes it all.
Also, don't drink too much soup. Get wasted the morning after.
Yeah, I remember the last time I ate 3 bowls of pumpkin soup, I was completely useless. Alright.
And upcoming is the part that I talked about earlier, the forest maze, where you hopefully don't see any encounters at all.
The real nice thing about the forest maze is that you can actually see where the encounters are just based on the footprints on the ground. But yeah, it's a pretty long and big area, and you have to do kind of like setups that we've seen in the past already, like pushing yourself around corners to avoid encounters. Also, it's just something you have to be really aware when moving through these grounds here.
Also, in case you missed it or you blinked, that was Kino there.
Yeah, we don't talk to Kino a lot in this run.
No one likes Kino.
Yeah. So no matter what's your preferences on characters in this game, one thing we do have to admit is that Ayla is absolutely overstated compared to the party we have right now. She will be dealing a ton of damage, especially when we equip her with the Berserker later for the boss fight for Nispo. Really nice digging RNG there. But yeah, Ayla with the Berserker will deal a ton of physical damage. Will be way more than anything we can deal right now.
Alright. Redslash got a 34, so he is on the right track, RNG seed wise.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing about this game. Like, you can just see if you're on the right RNG with nice benchmarks like these. Just check your damage numbers, check if it's the right value, and then you know if you're good or not. That lightning there needs to be inputted kind of quickly, but Redslash managed it nicely.
I actually don't remember if Chrono is supposed to be at 1 HP.
No, it doesn't seem like... well, he's gonna shelter anyway, so it doesn't matter, but... I don't know where that comes from, honestly. Might have been some weird things going on in the Mass Immunity fight, I don't know. I'm just gonna run away from this last encounter. Partially de-equip Ayla, equip her with the Berserker, and then just gonna head straight into the Nispo fight after taking a shelter.
And taking a ruby rest as well.
Oh yeah, we're totally stealing that from her.
So yeah, if you missed the maze, the forest maze, you can watch eLmaGus. He's going through it now. I like that area, has some nice movements.
Yeah. Movement in this game is a lot of fun to optimize. Like again, you wouldn't necessarily think of movement in a JRPG, but this one is really, really good. And this is one of the fights where the unequipped glitch really comes in handy. We always have, after a certain time, after putting in these lightnings to make Nispel vulnerable, there's going to be a discharge and all of the party members are going to be hit with a ton of thunder damage, but due to unequip, it's a laughable amount.
And of course, this fight is also scripted.
Yeah. There is almost not a single fight that isn't scripted in this game. In this run. So yeah, there you go. Got the thunder, but taking like such a small amount of damage just because of the unequip giving us like 90% protection.
Yeah, and you saw that even Ayla takes almost no damage, even though we didn't fully unequip her.
Then again, just look at the damage that Ayla is dealing with the Berserker. It's just ridiculously high.
It's almost like Berserker is some nice gear.
An overstated character with an overpowered item dealing a lot of damage. What a surprise.
And guess what? We're picking up another one.
Yeah. And that second Berserker is going to be even more ridiculous than the first one. Believe it or not.
And the Magus is also coming up to the Nispel fight. Oh yeah, the reason why we went here, by the way, is because they stole our gate key. And we need that to get back to our time.
Right, yeah, that was the reason why we murdered their entire population there.
We just like to fight.
Yeah, you know. Alright, so now that we got the stone, just gonna pick up that Berserker after running away from this encounter, and then gonna head back to Melchior.
And of course, we are not going to talk to Melchior. We're going to fade out glitch.
Talking to characters is so overrated.
Who needs to know what is going on?
I mean, there are people playing the Japanese version of this game. Who needs to know what's going on?
You mean they don't know Japanese?
I don't know.
And this time we're actually fading out into the basement.
Yeah.
And also swapping out Robo.
Yep. Which confuses this cutscene a lot, because usually either Luca or Robo are supposed to help Melchior reforging the Masamune. But because we're swapping out Robo there, the cutscene is kind of confused, and we skip actually a bunch of the cutscene this way. Redslash definitely has a decent lead over Magus right now. Magus just being done with Nispel.
And the game actually puts Robo back into your party. Doesn't care what you want.
Nope.
You have to have Robo here. Anything else doesn't make sense. So now that we have the Masamune, we're gonna go back to Frog, show it to him, see what he says about it.
Oh, I'm sure he has a lot to tell. Gonna have two of the most lengthy cutscenes in the entire game.
At least they've got the marshmallow in it.
Oh, Magus grabbing his Berserker. Yeah, right, we got the marshmallow blend.
And one more bird skip.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
one of
actually
the-
the most important ones.
Exactly.
Oh, pause buffering it again. Nice.
The reason why bird skip may be difficult is because you don't always move a set amount of pixels when you move. So sometimes you move 2 pixels, sometimes 1. That's
Yeah,
why you saw Redslash pause buffering there.
Yeah, and since you only have a 2 pixel window, you can easily overshoot it, which obviously means another encounter, which means RNG is no longer on point, which in this case definitely means a reset, because you need your RNG to be on point for Magus Castle, which is coming up now.
And that's at least 1 second time loss. Depends on when you reload.
Yeah. And now we have some story time. Telling us a whole lot about the background story of Frog and Sir Cyrus, about their motivations and their background with Magus.
Double cutscenes.
Yep. You have this long cutscene, which as a casual is pretty cool, in a speedrun not so much. And then you're just done with it and you move like for half a minute and then you get more cutscenes.
And if you still don't have enough, eLmaGus gets the cutscenes as well.
Yeah. So we got 4 long cutscenes. Back to back. Now there's still a decent amount of run. We got like half an hour left. A little bit less.
Nirvana strike.
Still don't understand what this Frog King has to do with the hero medal. Oh, Magus wants to get in the bird skin.
I think he did it. He did all of them without pause buffering.
Yeah.
Just by alignment. I mean, it's preference. What you want to do.
Yeah, basically what Shala says.
There's another new.
Magus is getting way luckier with the news than Red does. Yeah, Magus Castle has some really good parts. Magus Castle is where RNG Minute really shines more than anywhere else. Alright, Magus just starting his cutscene.
So if you want something to drink or to eat, now would be the time.
Yeah. The runners unfortunately can't take that offer because they have to mash text. But for viewers, this is a nice pause.
And
This is
bad
the
thing
part.
is, after mashing, you actually have to move immediately. Otherwise, you miss getting into an encounter. It's not fun.
I can't say how often I've just been here after this cutscene, just mashing text, even though there was no text for like at least 10 seconds. Just wasted. Oh, there we got one new for Red. Let's go.
Run validated.
Yeah. Now we got some. No, Red, don't go to. Thank you. Oh,
Just
man.
casually do some side quests. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, he has the advantage. Might as well just visit Fiona. Why not?
Marshmallow, marshmallow.
You're a marshmallow, Glenn.
Man, I love this cutscene.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry.
I don't like mashing through it, but I love the cutscene.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I like that they explicitly tell that Glenn is the better sword fighter than Cyrus, even though Cyrus is the hero of that story in a way.
I think Cyrus is the captain of the guard there, right?
Yeah.
And one more time, the tale how I got turned into a frog. I think he can do a song about it. This is a story about how my life got turned upside down. Sorry.
Yeah. It's alright. Beautiful how Frog lays there with his tongue stuck out. Wow, that's is that the third new?
I think that's the third one, yeah.
Dang,
He only missed one.
that's pretty sick. It's not gonna save him any of the time that he's behind, but it's pretty respectable.
And if you haven't seen this cutscene on the DS, you should watch that.
Oh yeah,
It's a
this
very
is pretty
nice
sick.
cutscene.
Yeah, this is really sick.
And right after this, you have to immediately move.
Yeah.
And get hit in the face by rats.
Yeah. The damage number that we're gonna see in this next like we're gonna run away from this next encounter, but we're definitely gonna get a hit in. And if we see, I think it's a 19 on Chrono or Robo, we're fine on RNG. If we see anything else, we're off RNG. There we go. Yeah, red obviously still on the right RNG. No mistakes in the last fights, and no reason to be concerned.
Also, if you know that you are off RNG and you still get a 19, that's not good. It can go both ways. You can be on the correct RNG. Sometimes the game fixes itself.
Yeah, I definitely had runs where I was so off RNG that I got on RNG again. That happens, but you should not necessarily rely on it.
Yeah. Especially in race setting.
Yeah.
Just reload.
Yeah. Froggers. I love this castle. This is such a cool design.
As before, Magus Castle has no real music, especially in the first part. You just hear nothing.
Yeah, the atmosphere in this is really good.
You run up the left side, you run up the right side, and go on to what looks like a save point, but isn't.
Yeah, they're really pulling a sneaky on you there. Also, some of these dialogues with these guys are really, really spooky. Alright, there's that mysterious save point. That turns out to be a trap.
The dialogues are actually spookier when you go there the second time and actually fight them.
Oh yeah.
Which we are not doing.
Thankfully.
So we are looking for 46 damage on Frog. 45 is fine as well.
Should definitely be a 46.
I think 45 only happens if you reload.
Yeah. Same for the variation in the flea fight that we got coming up. But yeah, Ozzy here telling you that you need to defeat all 100 beasts, but there's really only like very few encounters that we're actually going to do. Most we're just going to avoid or run from, and then there's 2 bosses that we need to fight before actually heading to Magus. Not counting the Ozzy fight.
And we are gonna give Frog the Ruby West and the Berserker. And unequip his helmet.
And that Berserker is so important. The Berserker strats you're gonna see in this upcoming fight are ridiculous. In all these upcoming fights, actually, but this one specifically is just insane. So we got the fake flea.
What do you mean, fake flea?
Well, it's flea with a question mark. What are you thinking? So yeah.
I think they didn't know how to pronounce flea.
Let's just put a question mark in there. That will fix it. So yeah, this fight is pretty interesting, the way we set it up. So the way this game works is that if two characters have their turn at the same time, Berserker always takes priority. And Frog and Flea have the same speed. So the way this is set up is that Frog and Flea always have their turn at the same time. Frog's Berserker is going to take priority, so Frog's going to attack, and then Flea kind of forgets about her attack. So this entire fight is literally just Flea laughing while Frog kills her with his sword. And that's the fight.
Is it actually laughing or is it yawning?
Might be a combo of both. And I think this is like 16 attacks that a Frog gets in there, so
yeah.
We're here for a while.
It's 16 attacks. You can watch out for a pattern or for time or for music loops, whatever you want to do. If you really need the break. Otherwise you just have to be disciplined and not push any buttons.
This is the part where you could actually, like, try a sprint to your fridge, get a drink.
I think it's slightly more than a minute, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how far away your fridge is then.
Definitely an interesting concept of a speedrun where you can not take a break during cutscenes, but you can take a break during a boss fight.
So after Flea we are skipping some more fights.
Yeah.
And then come up to Slash after the 5 skeletons.
Yeah,
Or dissidents.
Skeleton fight isn't too hard. Oh no. Why did I...
Jinxed.
Um...
Instant jinxed.
I have no clue if there's a backup for this.
I mean, the backup is fight Slash normally.
So Red is currently completely off script.
Yeah, he pushed buttons before Frog has his animation.
Never do anything when Frog didn't do his attack yet.
Never interrupt Frog.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what the plan is that Red has right now.
Maybe he has a backup. If someone has one, he has one.
Yeah, that is true. If anyone has a backup, then it's Red. But this fight is going to be interesting. The way this script works is that you like lay out the damage in a way that the transitions between the different phases are really conveniently laid out.
I hope he knows that he's off RNG.
Oh, he knows.
Because he's doing the same inputs.
I mean, maybe that's the backup. Maybe,
just maybe
that's
same.
Maybe that's the infamous "you're so off script that you're on script again" scenario. But
I don't think Frog will survive that.
No, but you know we have a ton of revives mid tonics. This is interesting though. I'm curious how he's gonna solve this.
I mean, this gives the Magus time to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that it's still questionable if Red will survive this fight, Red is definitely not going to do the fastest fight possible, so eLmaGus, if he stays on script, is going to catch up a lot here.
Does Red have a backup? Yes, indeed. Nice one, Zappa. Nice one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't like where this is going. We're still in the first phase of the fight. The second one is going to get a little bit more rough. Second one has a ton of nasty counterattacks too. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh no.
I think he's almost finished, so yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So the characters are going to be back at 1 HP for the second phase.
He has to heal Chrono and Frog anyways.
Yeah, that would be part of the script. Maybe now he's back on RNG. Maybe that's the back. Nope. Okay, nope. Frog is dead.
Alright, improvisation it is.
Man, this is not one of the fights you want to just improvise. This is very scary, especially in a run.
And it's also slower because you are not on the crit RNG seed anymore.
Yeah, he will definitely reset the RNG to do a reload after the slash fight. There's thankfully a backup load for basically any scenario, including this one. So yeah, what he really needs to watch out more than anything else is that in the last phase of the Slash fight, Slash does a ton of counterattacks that deal a ridiculous amount of damage. So he needs to watch out that he times that well and acts well with it. Magus now already in the second part of the fight as well, catching up a lot on Red here.
And also Slash does spin cuts, which hurt a lot, because you have no armor on.
Yeah.
Except for Frog.
This is the part where it gets really scary not having physical defense, and yeah, there's the Chrono just getting one shot. And since Robo is still on Berserker, we are kind of limited in our options on what to do here.
Frog is still on Berserker.
Yeah, sorry. Thankfully Slash counts as magic damage, so deals almost no damage.
Just making sure no one gets confused.
Yeah. I mean, at this point...
Double Berserker strats.
that is the future of speedrunning right there. That's how we get a 146 Magus. Double Berserker. Ouch, these spin cuts. Oh, wow. Down to 2 HP.
I don't know if Red is actually counting damage or not.
I'm completely lost.
Alright, he's in the counter phase.
Yeah.
Not a great start.
Oh, that hurts. Having to use a lot of healing items here. Like, obviously it's nice that he stays alive, but it just costs so much time. Using all this time for healing. eLmaGus only has to heal 3 times during this entire fight.
I think eLmaGus might actually be ahead after this fight.
Yeah, very well possible.
Because he's close to done.
Oh, there we go. So with the extra... oh my god, okay. So with the extra reload that Red has to take, I think they're basically even at this point. Like with a quick menu here from Red. And a quick reload. With a nice backup count. I think... No, eLmaGus actually pulling ahead here. Dang. Alright. Wow. I'm this race.
It just got close again.
Yeah.
One mistake is all it takes.
Yeah. Whew. And I'm not gonna lie, even though it is so close, this is not necessarily an easy part to save time on your opponent if your opponent plays it safe.
You saw there we picked up the slasher and we immediately equip it because it gives a speed bonus to Chrono. And Frog gets the hero medal for increased crit rate with the Magus immune.
Oh boy, this
Because
race.
we still have some more fights to fight.
Yeah, right now we're just running away from most of them.
I mean, running away counts as defeating, right?
Basically.
At least in this castle.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is so good. Oh my god. This can be decided by very, very small things right now.
Is it the change
Oh, yeah, there we
text
go.
frame again?
That's saving a little bit of time there, getting a faster cycle on the guillotines. God, this is super close. This might very well be decided on the second staircase here.
So for the rolly riders, you want to either stand still or you want them to move across a corner and then you can move up past them.
Oh my god. Alright, eLmaGus. Let's
Nice
see.
first one.
Can you get the rolly push? Okay, gonna push the guy here. Oh my god, Red getting it. Oh my god, this is... He even gets the D-spot. Oh my, he pulled ahead. He just pulled ahead.
Nice.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Redslash had an input error before the slash fight, so he had to improvise there.
Oh my
That's
god.
how eLmaGus caught up.
Any mistake in this part is gonna be such a major setback. Like, look at this, they're doing the exact same thing, basically, like, less than half a second apart from each other.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I did not expect this, in all honesty. So yeah, I'm gonna swap Luca back in. Just because the third encounter here, the second one we're just gonna skip. The third encounter, Luca deals a lot of damage with her fire, which we need to make a fast fight. We're gonna swap Robo back in right after, just for the final fight against Magus. Whoa.
This is so close.
This is by far the closest race we had in this tournament. And remember, the fights, all fights are scripted. They are on the same RNG. Neither of them so far will have to take a shelter before Magus. So, in an optimal scenario, they're gonna do the exact same thing from here on out. The fights are gonna be exactly the same, and there's very little movement or text mashing that either of them could gain time on. So it's literally just execution of the script that they both have the same thing. Oh my god.
I don't think anyone will take a safety save.
No.
You just go for it.
I just hope they don't like rush Ozzy and make him miss input and attack like the ice statue. Oh my god.
So right now it's down to movement, mashing, and menuing.
Yeah.
I mean menuing in fights, not the menuing before.
They have to do one more very tiny menu, but that's basically free. None of them got any damage in, so they don't need to take a shelter. Whew. Yeah, this is a race. Yeah, 118. Yeah, they're on the right RNG. I can already tell that. Red's timer is ahead by 0.28 seconds. Well, I mean, in that case, they're literally even, I guess. Oh boy. Okay, so we actually have to talk. What happens if they tie? Are we gonna get another round? Can someone talk about the speed gaming schedule? Are we gonna have another one?
I think we'll figure that out afterwards.
Yeah. God. Alright, yeah, both with a perfect Aussie. Just need to swap Robo back in.
I don't even think I need to swap the audio.
No,
Since it's so
I
close.
think you're fine. Oh my god. Yep. Red slightly faster on swapping Robo back in, I guess. So yeah, they are basically in sync entering Magus. They are both on the same RNG, they have the same setup. It's literally just about who can execute a set script slightly faster. Keep in mind, most of the attacks are inputted during animations, so there's almost no time to gain on that. There are like 2 or 3 attacks that are inputted where it like actually matters how fast you are. So at this point, there is almost 0 time to gain, only mistakes you can make.
I think
So now it's, yeah.
the only difference might be if you get a second dark matter.
Yeah. So if we have like any slow slash inputs from either of the runners, that is going to be the deciding factor. But both of them had like a basically flawless Magus in the first race, so it's at this point it's about how can they execute after 4 hours of playing, I guess.
Yeah, you have to remember they already raced once today.
Yeah.
Had a short break and then went at it again.
Man, I'm excited.
How can you not be excited?
This is pretty hype. The music is definitely doing its part.
Yep.
I know both of them are watching right now, because they've both been typing something in chat already. So they know what's up right now. Yeah, just...
I think they are like 1 second apart. Maybe even less. So yeah, the way this Magus fight works, by the way.
Oh yeah, right. Because okay, we're still on RNG minute. Magus has 4 different barriers: lightning, shadow, water, and fire. We can only damage with shadow and lightning right now. So we want to avoid fire and water barriers. Fire barriers even more than water barriers, because fire barriers would actually deal a ton of damage on us because we don't have fire protection with the D-equip. But the way the RNG manip is set up, we are actually only going to get lightning and shadow barriers, so we can deal a lot of damage and don't take a lot of damage ourselves. And after the barrier phase is over, we're going to get into the dark matter phase and optimally deal so much damage that we only get a single dark matter. Really important here is like the order in which you do things, weakening Magus with the Masamune first so that his magic defense decreases, and then getting the damage in. But, oh my god, look at... What is this even?
Yeah, we actually
What is this?
Frog some magic, so it's only useful for his Masamune.
I have never seen this. Like... Oh, wait. Wait, now we're... Okay, they're deviating.
Yeah, Magus used a mid-tonic on Robo, I think.
Yeah.
While Redslash didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have a different script.
I mean, he doesn't... I don't think he doesn't need the mid-tonic, technically. Not on Magus percent, at least. And not with one dark matter.
He's slightly ahead now, I think. It's hard to tell.
No, he's definitely ahead, but it's so little, like, that might honestly, at this point, this depends on how fast they can type dot done on SRL, let's face this. Yeah, in a full game run, the Metonic matters, and Magus out here it doesn't, because it doesn't matter what HP they end up with. Oh boy, alright. I see a result on SRL, okay. Oh my god, this is not happening. And there we go. Redslash is done. And so is Magus, but Red is slightly earlier. And with that being said, Redslash finishes first place with an official SRL time of 1:50.06, and Magus right behind him with an official SRL time of 1:50.08. 2 seconds apart. Redslash winning the finals of the Chrono Trigger Defeat Magus tournament. GG. Holy heck. What a race. This was really, really good.
This was insane. Make
Wow.
sure to follow those runners.
Yeah,
Definitely.
if you don't follow the runners now, Ooh, alright. Oh boy, alright. That was crazy, and I really hope we're gonna get them for an interview in, because this deserves one. See, Redslash is already here, just waiting for Magus.
So this started out as like a minute. eLmaGus was like a minute behind.
Yeah.
At one point. And they finished 2 seconds apart.
Yeah. And yeah, Red with that mistake right before the Slash fight. Even able to recover from that, but losing so much time on it. And there we go. Redslash. GG, dude. Congrats on the race. That was absolutely sick.
What just happened?
Congratulations.
Yeah. Clutching out that Slash fight, and then even pulling ahead in the very last few rooms of Magus Castle, and then sticking out the landing. Like, that was really, really impressive, dude. Congrats.
Oh my god, yeah, that Slash choke was so bad, and I figured I gotta play basically perfectly, hoping for a chance. And wow. I don't know how I managed that. I got the bomber thing and everything. Wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely impressive. You got all, like, you were like, what, like 6 seconds behind after the Slash fight? After being like a minute ahead before? Gained like all that time back in the second staircase room was
Yikes.
really, really sick.
Yeah, you went into the Magus fight like half a second ahead.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, there was one point in the Magus fight where you were absolutely in sync. There was not a single frame difference. You were doing the exact same thing. It was definitely worthy a grand final. Glad to be a part of this, honestly.
Yeah, in fact is, I was nervous about the very last turn on Magus, because I never get that last part of the script in. And so that was really clutch. I know Magus has been practicing that one too, and I can never get it, so I waited a little bit extra, and that's what.
Honestly,
that paid off.
Honestly, you both had perfect fight. What actually made the difference in the end was that Magus used the Metonic on in the Magus fight. That was all that made the difference in this, honestly. Rest was dead sync.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there we got him, eLmaGus. Dude, congrats, man. Second place. That was a sick race, honestly.
GG, thank you, man, for the race.
GG, dude. I don't know about good, but yeah.
I mean, the race was good.
Yeah, the race was fantastic.
It was close, obviously, but yeah. I don't know. I have to rewatch. I don't think I touched that goblin, but that sucks. That sucks. Like, I don't know. It's also too much for me after like being up all day, and then racing again. I lost my focus like halfway through, earlier than halfway through. Like at some points, I just stared at my TV and I was like, okay, just keep moving, But
Oh man,
I
I
don't
got up a little earlier than I'm used to, so I was petering a little bit, probably not comparable. Do you want to do another one tomorrow or something?
I don't know. It's close enough, right? Yeah.
We were talking about what would happen if you would tie, because there was a long time where we really thought you would tie, and we were like, okay, yeah, there has to be a race free right after this one.
There's someone uses a standard if the time is within 3 seconds, they call that a tie. I've heard that place.
Well, yeah, we use that in some communities. I know.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, I was so far behind. I knew it, of course, like, checking in once in a while. And then my chat started going crazy. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? What's going on? And it's like, you're within like 5 seconds. I'm like, no, dude. I know. No, it's all on again. I was like, just like cruising, like laid back. Yeah, I can finish this run. It's going to be all over. And then it was so close again. I'm like, no, dude. Like my heart rate like went up double.
Did you actually keep an eye on the restream at the end, or were you just fully focused on the race? Because I know both of you were in chat at some point, so I was wondering if you actually watched some of the restream at some point at that last stretch.
I wasn't watching. I was kind of checking the screenshot, the thumbnail once in a while.
Ah, right.
Yeah. The thing is, when I heard about Magus's setback at Massa, I was like, man, I gotta play as well as I can, because I don't want that to be like, if that hadn't happened, Magus would have won, So I played.
Well.
and then I saw your message in the thing. If you want to choke, now's the time. And
dude, I told him that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was tempted. And what happened was in the skeletons right before Slash, I was matching through the text too much, so I opened the menu too soon for that skeleton fight and threw everything off. And that Slash fight was rough. I used 3 revives at least.
Oh boy, dude! Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
still, just the fact that you were able to like clutch that out was pretty sick under these conditions.
Yeah.
Should have
that's
freezed an
probably-
IMO.
You know what though? There was another thing that happened in the prison. The second guard. I really should have been caught by that second guard. Like, I ran too far up, but he turned down as soon as I stepped over the line. Like that. He took it. Yeah, he was really nice to me.
Yeah, I was wondering at the start. Like, I had like essentially 3 points where I kept, track of the race. And one of them was before our series, essentially. And I was wondering why you were like so close, because I had a terrible start. And I was like, okay, this is closer than I thought it should be, but that's nice.
Your R series was definitely way better. Gained a lot of time on Redslash there. Your R series, your slime fight. Sorry.
Also, yeah, I saw in chat slime. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got your slime pattern this time, so evened out. And I noticed that last race we got both guilty, and this race we got not guilty.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's also where I checked. I was like, I got not guilty, and I was like, and then I saw that you got not guilty too, and I was like, okay, it's fair.
Yeah,
It's alright. It's alright. Fair game.
Very nice.
Yeah. But I mean, I made a lot of small mistakes at the start, and then I lost focus, and I don't know. It's like, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I didn't make a big mistake. Like, let's put the goblin aside for a second, because like, I'm gonna rewatch that. I don't believe that yet. So let's put that aside. I literally made no mistakes, like, big things. So pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of second place, obviously, because like, when I went into this tournament, I was like, yeah, cool. I can de-rest the game, play 2 matches, and then do full game runs. And now I'm here. So like, yeah, there we go. I don't know.
I thought it was pretty obvious. Like, you were the scariest opponent I was going to be up against. That was in my eyes. I don't know. Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm really glad actually that it was that close at the end, because like I was afraid that that mistake I made or whatever it was with the goblin was like, oh man, the rest of the race is going to be a total disappointment, and I'm glad it wasn't.
I can really say none of this race was a disappointment. Like obviously the end was absolute hype, but it was really, really cool throughout the entire thing. It was an absolute blast, a really worthy finale. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I kind of wish I lost the first one. That would have been a lot easier for me, but you know. I'm just done now. Over. Congrats, man. Sorry, I'm just like kind of.
Is everyone retired now?
Yep. I am retired. Like, I mean, I said I was going to do full game runs and like, but I've played this way too much now. I need a break from this game. Plus, I play a lot of rando, so it's been the last 3 months full of Chrono Trigger.
Word. Yeah, this kind of, I don't know, we kind of dragged it out a little bit, but yeah, that happens. Let's see, I want to go ahead and thank you, Pong, for commentating, and V-Man. Really appreciate that, you guys. And Jerry and Seductive Spatula for commentating the first match. I didn't get to hear, but I'll be watching it back.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was also European-friendly times.
Yeah, I think in the name of Jerry and Spatula and all Europeans, was a blast to watch you.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thank you for like putting this on. Thank you for Speed Gaming for restreaming this, and I do hope that people who watched us enjoyed it, and might gotten interested a little bit in Chrono speedrunning. We have an awesome community, so the game can be a bit rough, as you have seen right here, right now, but that also makes it exciting. So if you are interested, feel free to join our Discord or just message us.
All questions are welcome. Yep.
Jerry just linked the Discord in chat, so if you're interested, make sure to join.
Yeah, it's a great game to learn. I can confirm that.
So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a nice day.
Yes.
And we will see you for the next tournament.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where we defeat eLmaGus again.
Maybe we defeat Slash this time.
Oh man, a new category. Let's go.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Yep. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, viewers. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Although thanks for the restream as well. The guys in the background definitely deserve a shout out as well. Take care, everyone. We are out.